We talked today at the TOPS IRD about how our brain works and the fact that while I'm talking to you, you're talking to yourself about 3 times faster and your brain believes everything you tell it. The reason for TOPS is to help people lose weight, but what I talk about is the fact that the weight loss has to begin up in the way they think. What we do, how we eat, how we exercise is based on how we see ourselves, called our self-image. And our self-image is based on our self-talk. That's it. It's based on what we say to ourselves about ourselves. Now people say, well, what about what other people say to you? Well, what other people say to you do not become a part of you until you agree with them. You have to agree with them. So we talked about change. Now what I want to talk about that we didn't talk about in the IRD today is the incentive behind that change. The incentive is really the most important part of changing. By that I mean, why do you want to lose weight? Why do you want to eat better? Why do you want to do this or that? If you have the incorrect incentive, the brain's not going to help you. When I wrote my book, the name of the book was Making Your Mind Your Mentor. They changed it to Making Your Mind Magnificent, but I like my title better. A mentor is simply someone who sees more in you than you see in yourself. And so people want to change, but there's 2 motivations. One is called restrictive motivation, and one is called constructive. Restrictive is when, if I push on your hand, you immediately push back. That's the way we are. That's restrictive motivation. Restrictive motivation is, you better lose this weight or else. You know what your brain says when you say that? Oh yeah? Who are you to tell me that? Because restrictive motivation starts with the 2, and as it always ends with the 2 words, or else. Lose this weight or else. And then it imagines all sorts of horrible things happening, like oh, you'll get diabetes, or your husband will leave you, or all these sorts of things. And yet the brain just reacts against restrictive motivation in 3 ways. Number 1, it procrastinates. It says, well, I should do this, but I'll do it after my nap. I'll do it when I feel better. I'll do it when I've lost that weight. The second thing that the brain does is called creative avoidance. In other words, it finds something else to do before you do what you got to do. I have to take a nap, I have to pay off that loan, I have to wait till the kids move out, whatever, okay? If that doesn't work, the third one is called slovenly work. I'll do it, but barely enough just to get by. The kind of motivation that we need when we need to lose weight or change how we see ourselves is called constructive. Constructive is, I don't have to do this, I want to. I like what I'm becoming, I love what I'm doing, and you know what? It is my idea. And when you use constructive motivation, your brain just can't wait to get there. The brain becomes your greatest mentor. Let me give you an example. I love to run. And every night at around 3:30 in the morning, I run up this hill behind our house. I run for about an hour. I've been doing this for years and years and years. Now, people say to me, you must be really, really disciplined. You know what? I'm not. The reason why I love to run is because it is my favorite time of the day. My body wakes up at 3:30 in the morning and I think to myself, oh my gosh, if I run up my mountain tonight, the moon is out, and the stars are going to be out, and I'll put on my shuttle and listen to my favorite music, and I'll have such a lovely time running up my mountain. And I run. Now, here's the difference. If I woke up at 3:30 in the morning and say, okay, I got to do this because it's good for me, and if I don't, I'll gain weight, and I won't, and all these sorts of things, you know what my brain will do? It will look for dozens of ways to stay in bed, because that's restrictive motivation. The brain finds reasons to fight against you. So the kind of motivation that you need to have when you're losing weight or you're changing how you see yourself is constructive. And again, constructive is, I don't have to lose this weight. I want to. I like what I'm doing. I like who I am, and you know what? It is my idea. And what's so wonderful about the brain is when you think that way, the brain just says, oh, okay. Is it true? The brain doesn't even care. All your brain cares about is what you tell it. So when you say it, your brain believes it. And then, when you lock onto it, you know what your brain will do? Your brain will do everything it can to make it true in your life.